Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to check out today's video where I'm going to be doing a review of the Daiwa Tatula SV TW. Now, this is the first ever Daiwa reel that I've purchased. After seeing some demos of it, casting, some sport shows and whatnot, as well as hearing as much about the SV spool as I have, I really wanted to give it a shot. And it really worked out well for me. But I just want to get through some of the specifics right away before we get more into that SV part of it. So first off, this reel comes in at 7.2 ounces. It's not super heavy, it's not super light. It feels really good in your hand though. It feels substantial, unlike some of those that get super light almost feel cheap and like you can break them. This feels very well engineered, fits in your hand very well, and is a nice smooth reel. Has 7 bearing system. 2 of those are corrosion resistant ball bearings, which is plenty to make a nice smooth reel. They're good quality bearings, so that's a plus. Another thing this has is the Daiwa's Ultimate Tournament Drag, which produces about 13.2 pounds of drag force. That's plenty for any bass fishing that you're going to do, even big northerns and whatnot. It's enough power to handle most fish. And the really nice thing about it is it's nice and smooth throughout the entire drag range. So you don't get those spots in there where it's like catching and releasing. A lot of times that can cause you to lose fish. So having that nice smooth drag is definitely a nice feature on this reel. The drag star on this is made out of Zion, which is Daiwa's proprietary material. It's almost kind of like a carbon fiber. It's meant to help reduce weight, and it looks kind of cool too. You probably can't see it in this light. I'll get some pictures up there. But it's almost kind of a metallic black. And like I said, it's a light material too, so that's nice. It does have a clicking drag, if you can hear that. That's always a nice feature too for me, as far as I'm concerned. One of the other things this reel does have is a 90mm swept handle. The swept handle kind of keeps your hands a little bit closer to the reel, keeps it more compact, and when you're really trying to crank on a fish, puts a little less strain on your wrist holding the rod. Because you're not having such a lever action pushing on it. So it's nice to have that. It looks kind of nice too. It's got the little cutouts for reduced weight and everything. It's great that way. The other thing, it's externally adjustable magnetic braking. So you don't have to ever open up your reel when you're in the boat to change drags or change brake settings, which most of the time isn't that big a deal, but I have heard the horror stories of people dropping their side plates over the edge of the boat, or their spool falls out and falls in the water. You don't have to worry about that with this reel because it's externally adjustable, and that's also click adjustable too. One thing I would like to see on this reel somewhat, I can't really call it a drawback and you'll find out in just a second, is the cast control knob does not click on this reel. In hindsight, after using it for a year, I hardly ever touched it to adjust for anything. So once you have it set, you pretty much leave it alone. So you don't have to have those nice little clicky features on it. But personally, for a reel that costs this much, I like to see them on there anyway. But like I said, that's kind of a wash just because you don't really use it either. So another feature this reel has is the T-wing system. That's where the TW comes from in the name. If you look at the line guide on that, you'll see that it looks kind of like a T. When you push the thumb bar to release the spool, it'll actually tip down. So what this does is it's supposed to reduce some of the friction from the line coming off the sides of the spool when they go run through the line guide. And then when you turn the handle, it flips back up and it's back to just this narrow one. So the line guide moving back and forth will keep your line level on the spool. When it first came out, I thought it was kind of a gimmick. After using it, it does seem like your casts are a little bit smoother. You actually don't feel it as much in the reel. Like when you use braid, you can kind of almost feel a little bit of the vibration from the line running through, where this just seems really smooth. One of the biggest features of this reel that drew me to it right off the bat was the SV spool system. Now, SV is supposed to stand for stress-free versatile. Stress-free meaning backlash-free, and versatile meaning being able to cast both light and heavy baits without having to change settings or anything like that. And this reel will definitely do that. It doesn't seem to matter as long as the bait's within the weight range of the rod. if you tie, once you get it set, you basically just leave it and you don't change anything. And you can cast, and it's not that you can't ever get a backlash with this reel, but it tames them incredibly. I mean, you almost have to try to get a backlash with it. And I've seen some of these guys, like I said, demos that I watched earlier at some sports shows. People are actually trying to backlash this reel and they aren't doing it. Like I said, you can do it if you have your brake set wrong, but it tames so many of them. And for me, being somebody that fishes tournaments and guides, you don't get the option of picking your weather. So sure, you fish a lot of really nice days, but there's plenty of days you pull up at the ramp and you got 30-mile-an-hour winds. You still have to go out there. And this reel will allow you to fish in that weather, and it's very forgiving that way. I mean, it feels really weird to do it, but you can take and throw straight into a wind without any thumb at all, and even when the bait hits the water, you don't have to put your thumb on the reel. I mean, how many other bait casters can you do that and get any sort of distance out of them whatsoever? So that was the big drawing point for me to this reel, and it continues to be, because like I said, it's just really nice feature to have. You know, I had a friend that absolutely hated bait casters, and I told him maybe he should try one of these. He went out and bought one, and within a few minutes after I had it set up for him, he was using it just like any other reel. And this was the guy that actually gave away his other bait casting reel and rod. Just gave it to a friend because he was so sick of trying to fight with it, he didn't want it anymore. So that's what this reel can do for you. Yeah, if you have a really educated thumb, that's great, but this reel provides so much more forgiveness to those who don't have that perfect thumb. Or like I said, people that are going out fishing in those really heavy winds. You aren't trying to get tucked out of the wind anymore so you can cast. You can cast right into it without an issue. It's really interesting experience, and you know, this reel has worked out really well for me through all the features that it does have, as well as having that SV spool. Really, definitely highly recommend it, because when you're out there, being efficient leads to catching more fish, and this reel will help you up your efficiency. So thanks for stopping in today, guys. I will have a link down in the description to where you can buy this reel at, as well as links to my social media. If you want to follow me on there, that would be great. I'd also appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for my next updates. Until next time, guys, God bless, and good luck on the water.